Hey everyone, last week, Sunday, we finished our first Excel Open class. In that class, we talk about a topic which is relating to how to set up your working environment for Excel workbook. Today, we're going to make this count available for all of you guys throughout this recording session. So in here, we're going through step by step how I normally set up my working environment. I'll make this as my default setting because those kind of settings going to smooth your workflow in the future. So you won't have to be worried about changing the settings because everything has been settled for your preference. Normally, if you open Excel, you normally have this home opened. If you right click anywhere, you'll jump into this menu. So 4 options. Let's just pretend we're going to customize the ribbon. If I click this one, this whole new setting window is coming up, say Excel option. If I make this smaller a little bit, fit into the window, you can see where in the customized ribbon, this will be our following topic. But here, I just want to go through one by one to have a look which one I need to toggle on or toggle off based on my preference. Normally in the general option, we will leave this font as a body font, but you can have a lot of other different font based on if your company has a policy, say that's the font we're going to use across all the official document internally and externally. You should follow that policy to set up this default font. So next time when you open a new workbook, it will carry the same font. And also the size, 11 is somehow in between and very good. And 10 may be too small, but if you want to squeeze more information into one spreadsheet, that will do. And 12 is big enough for bold and apparent when you display your dashboard, for example. Normally, we default this view to the new sheet, say normal view. You can have a break preview or layout view. It's all associated with these 3 buttons. So normally we use a normal view. That's fine. By going down, you can have your username, and that's done for general normally. For the formulas, in case you're working on a template and that template has a lot of relative referencing, in that way, if you turn this default as automatic, it will calculate whenever there's a calculation needed and may slow down your workflow. You may choose this to menu. So whenever you need a calculation, you just click calculate. It will do all the calculation. But you need to be aware of this kind of settings. You need to ask the root question, say why you need to make a workbook menu for the calculation. There must be some overload information or template. I'm more inclined to decline the template design in such a way I have to toggle this to menu. Normally, I just leave it automatic. I just design my template more lightweight so I can avoid that situation. And you can have some old reference style, say RC style, and the rest for this part, I just don't touch it. For the data part, it's all good, nothing. Proofing, I don't touch it. Save, okay. This is very important. For the save settings, by default, this is 10 minutes. So whenever you install a new Excel, if you never touch this part, this will be 10 minutes. 10 minutes means what? It's going to save recover information every 10 minutes. So in case, in the situation where you have a crash or system shut down and you lose the information, it will happen only every 10 minutes. I'll save into the cache so you can retrieve that later. So I suggest you reduce this to 1 minute. In 1 minute interval, if you shut down, lost connection whatsoever, it will be in the system, in the memory for you to recall later on. So 1 minute I feel is very enough for me. Even a professional Excel user, in 1 minute, you can't do many, say, transformation changes. So you won't lose any of your work, which is good. And save file format, I normally use the first one. This is a very contemporary one. And the micro one, I try to do not use that because company policy due to the security issue, this has been disabled. And all the rest, they have their pros and cons. But I feel like the well-balanced one is the Excel workbook. And if we're going down, we can have, say, save draft location. So you can toggle this to any other location that you prefer. Language, nothing to argue, nothing. Advanced. Advanced is more like a detailed settings. You have to fine tune everything. For example, how do you edit a cell or range of data? How do you copy and save? And also you can say how you're gonna have different print settings, right? And for the charts, for display, you can toggle that in a very detailed level. And this part, I normally just skip that because I don't have any special preference on this part. Default setting for me most likely is okay. Just this saving part is a must go setting I have to change. Otherwise, I'm going to lose my workbook. So every 10 minutes, I need to refresh myself that I need to save that. So that's not a good practice for me. And now we come to the custom ribbon. Custom ribbon and quick access toolbar. Let's just first refresh the idea. What is custom ribbon? What is ribbon? We call this top section tab. And underneath is a ribbon. So under the insert tab, there's a ribbon. Under the page layout tab, there's a ribbon, right? So that's the ribbon we're trying to do. If you right click on here, we go into the custom ribbon. So customize this part. So that's the ribbon. If we go into that, we're going to see how we can customize them. So basically, when you customize that, you can have a look at what is currently available in the main tab. You have a home tab, insert tab. The drawer has been unticked, so it's not in the tab. Page layout, formulas, data. So if I untick any of them, if I untick, I click OK. Page layout has been unticked. Page layout has gone, right? Then I right click custom ribbon. I just make this screen smaller. I tick it, I click OK. It's coming back. So that's where you cast the ribbon. Instead of say make it visible or not visible, I can further down detail, say for each of them what I want to do, or I can include more pen, right? But for the default one, there's a reason for them to be bucketed in such a way. Under the insert tab, you have this many of different commands, function, features attached to the insert tab. So normally I'm going to have a customized tab for myself to use. I'm going to create a new tab. For this new tab, I'm going to click that and right click, rename that, say My Tab. Once I've done this, I will make sure this My Tab is before the home. If I go into this hand side, there's a little up and down arrow. If I click up, then My Tab is moving above the home tab. Then on this tab, I have groups. But what is group? Very easy. If we click OK, you can see My Tab is here. So each of this kind of thing, you can see there's a divider. The content between each divider is called group or a division. Since I have no function or command being added, so there's no division. If I right click, customize that, and then go into My Tab, make sure it's selected. Then in this tab, I'm considering adding what kind of things under the group, right? First group. This first group, I'm going to rename that as clean. I'm going to assign this as a eraser. Under this group, I'm going to add some features or command. I know there's a command which is under the main one, and the home one I know is called, I think it's more like editing part clear, right? I want to add this. If I select this, make sure this is selected. I click add to under the clean group. And I can also, it's going to clean all. It's going to clean the content and also the style. So if I just want to clean the content, I can use this one to add to that. So now I have a tab, I have a group, and that group is called clean all and clean content. Okay, once this has been done, if we click OK, now My Tab has this too. The hierarchy is tab, group. Under the group, you have commands, right? Let's just try it out. So I have C4 to F8. I have a bunch of data. They have different, for example, colors, right? For this part, I want to clean all the things, including the content, including the appearance. For this part, I want to just clean the content. You can see the color has been preserved. So that's My Tab. If My Tab is appearing the very front, I don't like that feeling. You can just go in here, make sure that My Tab is selected, click this down arrow, move it to the very last, and click OK. Now it will be here. So whenever next time you open this Excel, this My Tab will be positioning itself over the last one for you to use. So you can speed up your process. Normally I set up my group by the workflow that I have designed. How did you get your data? How did you processing them? And how did you output them? So I have at least 3 different groups for me to make the data flow smooth as possible. Okay, now we finished talking about the customized ribbon. Now I'm going to say the quick access toolbar. What is that? If we go into the custom ribbon, and then here's the quick access toolbar. Quick access toolbar is exactly the same logic if you try to customize that. For all the commands from whatever tab is available in Excel, you can add them into the quick access toolbar. But where is the quick access toolbar? We know that under each tab, this part is called ribbon, but which part is the quick access toolbar? It's just this pen, this part. So if I right click here, you can see I have a lot of options saying toolbar that is referring to this part. So in this part, for each of the individual function or command, I can right click on that, add to quick access toolbar. If I click this one, it'll be here. Say number formatting, you want this kind of comma style under the quick access toolbar, just point it out and right click, add to that. Now you can see that. So if I type a number 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm just using this button, it's the same result as you using the number over here. And if you don't like it, you just right click on that, remove from the quick access toolbar. So you've done the job. Okay. Somebody may say the bottom position, I just don't like it. You can just right click on that. You can see there's a option saying show quick access toolbar above the ribbon. So above the ribbon, let's just recall that this part is ribbon. Above the ribbon is over the top. So it's like a header. If I click that, you can see it's moving to the top. With these more controls, you can have that common style ready for you to use. But normally I put this quick access toolbar below the ribbon because over the top there's key information being displayed. For example, if I just show below the ribbon, you can see there's a search bar for you to search any content, features, and this is the file name, this is the icon, and this is your login name, and this is a minimize, maximize, and also close the instance. So the top section is already very busy. So I don't want to mess around with that kind of status. So normally I just leave it under the ribbon. But like I said, you can get it above the ribbon. Really just personal styles and preference. Okay, this part has been done. Then we're talking about the last part of the settings of your Excel workbook is the status bar. Status bar is very easy to understand. So Excel, this is a software. In this interface, they have all the settings and the commands over here. Top is telling you what's the file name and who is logging. And the bottom part is called the status bar. If I have a number over here, I have a bunch of numbers. You can already see some statistics ready, right? Since I have 8 different numbers, so that's why it's showing this way. And if you right click on that, there's a whole bunch of new lists coming up. That's because they're all toggle on or off by the users. Here you can see there's average count, numeric count, right? You can untick them or tick them to enable this display whenever you select the data range. For example, if I put some text 1 to 3 into these 2 cells, you can see I have a numeric account which is 6, but the total count is 8. 8 cells have value and 2 of them are not numeric, and hence your numeric count is 6 only. That's a thing very useful when you try to profiling your data. Because most of the time we try to quickly find if a number column is correct or not. Sometimes if you align them to the right hand side, you don't know. You can see there's no single quote. Here you have a single quote. So this data type and this data type is different. So by quickly scan through your data, you can use the quick access toolbar to have a taste of your data. See how wide is that, what is average, what is sum, what is the numeric count. And as you wish, you can enable a lot of other statistics and also status. You just make them ticked, then it will display properly. So that's the quick access toolbar. Let's wrap it up. Today we have gone through several topics about the preset of your workbook. The first part is the Excel options, going through each of them to see what kind of preference you're more inclined to and change that to your preferable style. And most importantly, make sure the save has been toggled to 1 minute. That's the interval I feel confident. And then make sure you have explored this custom ribbon to have your tab ready. You don't need to click on each tab to find what kind of command. And last, you can make your workflow even easier and faster by adding commands directly to the quick access toolbar. So that's the first part. Second part of our preach is about the status toolbar. Think about what kind of statistics, numbers, or calculation aggregation you want, and then just tick them. Next time when you have data ready, you can just select to have some stats for you to read. And the good thing of that is if you click any of the stats, it's actually copy the information if I paste. So if I select that, this is 738. If I click that, your clickable already have that things ready. If I make this, you can see that one has been copied. I can select a few of them. If I select this 369, you can see that has been copied. That's pretty useful. In the past, If you don't know this little trick, you need to memorize this whole thing and then write it down. But you don't need, just click that. It will copy in your memory of clipboard and you can utilize from here. Okay, that's pretty much for today. And thanks for joining this session. See you guys in the next one.